Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. General Hospital spoilers for the week of March 31, 2025, tease some shocking developments. Expect to see the aftermath of a horrific car crash. Lucky Spencer, Jonathan Jackson, keeps a tragic secret. Meanwhile, Christina Corinthos Davis, Kate Mansi, will be consumed with guilt. During the week of March 31, fans can expect to see what happens after Christina seems to cut Ava Jerome's Mora West brakes. Christina has been filled with rage and injustice ever since the death of the baby she was carrying. The fact that Sonny Corinthos, Maurice Bernard, made a custody deal with Ava didn't help matters. For one thing, Christina is becoming even more determined to make Ava pay. After Christina commits her sin, she will feel guilty. It will be too late for her to stop what is already set in motion. Though, unfortunately, it seems that Rick Lansing, Rick Hurst, and Elizabeth Liz Baldwin, Rebecca Herbst, are involved in the crash. It seems that Christina might also get caught up in the accident. Perhaps she tries to stop Ava from getting into her car, only to run right into her vehicle. Christina's rage and sense of injustice is eating her alive. This accident might be what Christina needs to grow up. Christina will be very lucky if no one dies as a result of her actions. What would be awful is if Ava was in the car with Avery Corinthos, Ava and Grace Scarola. Christina always threatened to make Ava feel the pain she feels every single day. Of course, Christina would not want any harm to come to Avery. However, that's what everyone says after the fact. Over with Lucky, he would have to make a decision whether to keep Christina's secret or to tell the truth. Since Liz is involved in the accident, it makes things even dissier for Lucky. There is also the possibility that Ava figures out Christina caused her crash. Ava could agree to keep quiet, as long as Sonny pays her IRS debt and gives her more custody of their child. Sonny was already willing to give Ava $2 million before the brake tampering. Christina's role in the crash could set Ava up quite nicely. Sonny could agree to it just to protect Christina from prison. Next week, Tracy Quartermaine, Jane Elliott, could decide to unleash Nina Reeves, Cynthia Watro's secret. Tracy didn't want to do it yet as timing was critical. Over with Emma Drake, Bradine Bruner, she goes to extremes. Of course, this could have Giovanni Palmieri, Giovanni Mazza, running to her rescue. There will also be Marco, Adrian Achondo, arriving in Port Charles. It seems that Marco is probably Natalia Ramirez's Eva LaRue, son with Jen Sidwell, Carlo Rota, while Lucas Jones, Van Hansis, and Marco started a romance in Miami. Brad Cooper's, Perry Shen. Internal alarms could begin blaring. Port Charles is about to be rocked by explosive secrets, heart-stopping tragedy, and long-awaited returns. As the week of March 31 to April 4 begins, emotions run high and lives hang in the balance after a devastating accident changes everything. Meanwhile, Lucky Spencer returns to town with a heartbreaking secret that will shatter the lives of those he loves. Buckle up. General Hospital is about to put your heart through the ringer. Monday, March 31. The Road to Ruin. The week kicks off with a chaotic bang as a mysterious car crash near the outskirts of Port Charles sends first responders racing to the scene. A mangled SUV is found upside down in a ditch, and what first seems like a simple accident quickly turns into something far more sinister. Dante, Chase, and paramedics are stunned to discover Jason Morgan, unconscious and bleeding, trapped in the driver's seat, with a second victim thrown yards from the vehicle. As they rush both victims to GH, the question looms: what caused Jason to veer off the road? And who was in the car with him at the hospital? Elizabeth is blindsided when she sees the second victim, her son, Jake Weber. With blood on his face and his life hanging in the balance, Elizabeth spirals into panic. The gravity of the crash starts to ripple through Port Charles as Sam learns Jason was involved, leading her to drop everything and rush to GH with Danny and Tao. Meanwhile, back at the crash site, Dante notices strange tire marks leading away from the scene, suggesting the possibility of another car and foul play. Tuesday, April 1. Secrets surface, wounds reopen. As Jason remains unconscious in the ICU, Sam is allowed a moment by his bedside. She reaches for his hand, her voice trembling as she pleads for him to fight. But it's Jake's condition that becomes more dire, and Elizabeth must face every mother's worst fear as doctors work to stabilize him. While Finn and Portia do everything they can, Liz is caught off guard when Lucky Spencer arrives at the hospital after hearing about Jake. His sudden return sends shockwaves through the halls, not just because of the accident, but because of the emotion behind his eyes. Though Liz is grateful for his support, she immediately senses something is wrong. Lucky is cagey, distracted, and emotionally volatile. Laura tries to press him for answers, but Lucky brushes off her concerns. He's clearly haunted by something more than just Jake's injuries. Elsewhere, Carly grows suspicious when she learns Jason was meeting with someone before the crash, someone who never came forward. She enlists Spinelli's help to retrace Jason's movements. What they uncover may change everything they thought they knew about the crash. Wednesday, April 2. The past never dies. Jason finally wakes up, but he's confused, disoriented, and unable to remember the moments leading up to the crash. As he struggles to speak, Sam reassures him that Jake is alive but in critical condition. Guilt flashes across Jason's face, and he demands to know what happened. Unfortunately, his memory gap only deepens the mystery. Lucky, meanwhile, is finally cornered by Laura, who refuses to let him deflect any longer. In a gut-wrenching confession, Lucky reveals the tragic secret he's been keeping. Months ago, he was diagnosed with a degenerative neurological disorder, a rare condition that's slowly robbing him of his memory and physical abilities. He's kept it from everyone, even his family, but he returned to Port Charles because he feared he was running out of time. Laura is devastated, and even more so when Lucky admits that part of him returned because he wanted to make peace with Jake before his condition worsened. But now, with Jake on the edge of death, Lucky is tormented by what might never be. At the same time, Spinelli makes a breakthrough. Surveillance footage shows Jason's SUV being followed by another vehicle moments before the crash. The footage is grainy, but there's no mistaking the shape. It's the same car driven by a recently released Cyrus Renault associate. Carly and Spinelli exchange a chilling look. This was no accident. Thursday, April 3. Fallout. Word spreads through town about the crash, and emotions run wild. Cameron flies in from Stanford to be by his brother's side, reuniting with Trina in a moment of quiet grief. Finn offers support to Liz, but there's tension, especially with Lucky back in town, and old emotions stirring beneath the surface. Jason, slowly regaining strength, is told got the second car. His instincts flare. Someone wanted him and Jake off the road. And with his memories starting to return in fractured flashes, Jason has a haunting image of Jake grabbing the wheel, trying to stop something. But what? Meanwhile, Jocelyn confronts Carly after overhearing her talking to Spinelli about Cyrus. Joss fears Carly's going to go vigilant again, but Carly insists this time she's going through the proper channels, mostly. Lucky visits Jake's bedside, and the moment is quietly heartbreaking. He speaks softly, tears streaking down his face, telling his son he's sorry for everything. For leaving, for not being there, and for the pain he might never be able to undo. Elizabeth overhears part of the exchange and is visibly moved. Despite everything, Lucky's love for Jake is undeniable. Friday, April 4, Truths and Consequences. Jake's condition takes a sudden turn. Doctors are forced to perform emergency surgery after swelling increases in his brain. Elizabeth is barely holding it together, and Lucky clings to hope even as his own body starts betraying him with tremors and blurred speech. Jason's memory comes rushing back in a chilling jolt. He remembers the moment another car rammed into them from behind, forcing them off the road. He recalls Jake screaming just before the impact, and something else, a second voice on a phone call, warning Jason to stay out of it. Jason realizes someone didn't want him digging into a cold case he'd been quietly investigating on behalf of Sonny. Jason reveals this to Dante and Sam, and all signs begin pointing to a new operation Cyrus Renault may have launched under the radar, targeting not only Sonny's empire but his allies' families. The crash was a message. But the biggest shock of the day comes when Jake makes it through surgery, and Lucky collapses in the hospital waiting room, trembling and disoriented. As Portia examines him, he finally tells Liz the full truth about his diagnosis. The look in her eyes says it all. She's heartbroken and furious he didn't tell her sooner. But more than anything, she's scared, not just for Jake, but for Lucky. Coming next week, a family grapples with the fallout of Lucky's illness. Jason and Sunny prepare to strike back, but will Sam stand by Jason's side as the danger escalates? Ava learns something about Nicholas that sends her straight to Laura with an ultimatum. A surprise return at Jake's bedside changes everything, and one key player will not survive April. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our GH News 24 YouTube channel for more update news.